students, this is Laura Antunes, and I am your virtual content specialist for multilingual learners. And today on Unit 8, Day 6, on climate change in New York City, I am going to give you useful tips to answer open-ended questions in the Living Environment Regents exam that are related to climate change. Okay, let's practice some open-ended questions together. Let's go. On questions 60 to 63 from January 2011, students were asked the following. Base your answers to questions on this slide and the next slide on the information below and on your knowledge of biology. An ecology class is trying to help reduce the problem of global warming by asking their school district to change all of their old light bulbs to compact fluorescent light bulbs that use less electricity. A. Identify one specific gas that contributes to the problem of global warming. I've been highlighting and circling words that are important for me to answer the question correctly as I was reading. You must do the same in the exam. To begin with, the word identify means to state a name. You don't have to explain anything. You don't have to write a sentence. You just have to give me a name. And what name you have to give me? You have to give me one, because I circled the word one, not two, not three, not four, just one, but it has to be specific. That means that you cannot say, oh, greenhouse gases. You cannot say that because you have to give me a specific gas that really contributes to the problem of global warming. Okay, you have different gases that do that. We have studied that in the last lesson. You have methane, you have carbon dioxide, you even have water vapor, and you have nitrous oxides. But make sure that the one that you are going to give me, you are 100% sure. You only have to give me one. Which one you know that is 100% correct. Okay, so write it down, pause this video, and then come back to the video again. That's correct. CO2, carbon dioxide, or methane are correct gases. Just one, remember, do not write more than one, because then if you do that, both of them need to be correct. Okay, just make sure the one that you're writing, you really know that contributes to global warming. I'm going to write methane. Just because I know that methane is a specific gas that really contributes to global warming, I'm 100% sure. Okay, let's go with the next question. B, state one activity of humans that increases the concentration of these gas. Okay, so let's go back to the question. Make sure that you really read the question and you understand what you have to do. Again, I highlighted the word state. State means, again, say the name. You don't have to explain anything. You just have to identify, all right? So the question is not about you writing a whole sentence and a whole explanation. It's just state, say one activity of humans. Make sure that you understand activity of humans. It is not something that animals do. It is not something that ecosystems do. It's something that has to do with human activity, all right? And we want an activity that increases. That means that makes the concentration of that gas going up. Okay, all right, so and now it has to be linked with the other question that you just answered, because it says the concentration of the gas that you talked about before. So think about it and write something, pause the video and come back to it. Okay, because I used methane in my previous question, I do have to find a human activity that is related to methane. I am sure that you have seen in class how the cow animal farming is a source of methane. Great, so I'm just going to go ahead and write something like raising cattle or intensive animal farming or cow animal farming or the livestock industry. All those activities increase the concentration of this gas. If the gas that you selected is carbon dioxide, You will have to write burning fossil fuels or deforestation instead of cow animal farming as the human activity that increases the concentration of that gas. Just please take into account that question A and question B are closely related, and whatever you answer on question A influences question B. If you answered methane, but then you cannot come up with an activity, try to change the gas to carbon dioxide instead, or to water vapor, or to CFCs. Okay, you know what I mean. All right, let's go to question C. Describe one negative effect of global warming on humans or ecosystems. Okay, now the question starts by describe. Describe means to give a detailed account in words of, meaning you need to provide details this time, and therefore you are going to have to write at least 1 or 2 sentences. All right, so now we have to describe one, just one, and it has to be negative. It cannot be positive. It has to be a negative effect of global warming, and it has to be on humans or ecosystems. So write down what you think the answer is, pause this video and come back to it. Okay, so one negative effect of global warming is the loss of sea ice that causes the sea levels to rise. But you may have answered differently. You may have said, for example, that one negative effect for global warming is the habitat loss for many species. Or maybe you've said that global warming causes polar ice sheets and glaciers to melt. Maybe you have said something different, and that doesn't mean that is wrong, okay? So maybe you've said that temperatures are increasing and therefore some animals need to move from their habitats. Whatever you've said, just like make sure that you explain correctly and that you described one negative effect of global warming either on humans or ecosystems. And last but not least, let's go with the last question. Explain why switching to more efficient light bulbs will help reduce the school's contribution to global warming. Okay, explain means to make an idea clear to someone by describing it in more detail. So therefore, you will need to write at least 1 or 2 sentences to make your ideas clear on this question, okay? And you also have to explain why switching to the light bulbs that are more efficient will help reduce, that means decrease, the school's contribution to global warming. So think about it, write down, and come back to this video and I'll give you the final answer. Okay, by switching to more efficient light bulbs, energy consumption will be reduced, and therefore that will result in less fossil fuel being burned. And that was our last question for today. And that means that we made it to the end of this video. I hope it was useful. Have a great day. Bye-bye.